Hey guys, Luna here, and welcome back to a game called Our Life. We are potentially going to be finishing the story with Derek today, but we shall see where it takes us. I see, we made it. Took us long enough. He didn't quite say anything more, though you felt his knuckles brush against your arm quickly. You looped your arm around his. You linked together perfectly. Now you wouldn't get lost and would be much happier. Together you stepped further down the path. For a place that felt so alive, it was almost uncanny how little had changed over the years. The bike rental store was there, though they offered shiny new electric scooters. There were still vibrant stalls offering a variety of fair foods, and the two big rides, the roller coaster and the Ferris wheel, continued to tower above the bustling crowds. You were sure one of the difference without needing to see it. The face-painting counter would have a total stranger running it. Xavier had moved on to decorating cakes rather than children's cheeks. Still, being there was a time machine to a summer long gone. You and Derek were two teens again, and he caught your attention with enough boyish excitement to converse.
So?
What do you want to do while we can? We'll have to leave pretty early to make it back to the farewell dinner. But we can ride bikes, grab a tree, browse some stores, or hell, we could rent our own bikes if you want. You pulled it even closer, cuddlier position against Derek. His pure enthusiasm made frowns outright impossible. You chuckled, the joy vibrating through coming out. Your first time to the Boardwalk was an experience. It had such a huge trip. Both of your parents and siblings had been there, but separated into two groups. For better or for worse, you went all across the very boards currently under your feet. Meanwhile, the dots hadn't had their heels on the floor. They were fit into pedals. The shock you felt learning they had gone off on bikes without care in the world was as fresh as ever in your mind, and that wasn't all that lingered within you. Important decisions without face painting. Nico carried around like a sack of potatoes, snacks on a bench as the sun set, and the Ferris wheel. Viewing not only in hindsight, but as an adult made the moments even more significant. They are precious. You never experienced your first time here again, or what it was like to be 13 when the world was only beginning to open up wide. Even so, your thoughts weren't completely tension-rose. A fuzzy blanket nostalgia couldn't make you forget how it was almost a nice time. How it only got to say good because one person cared enough to make certain it did. How Derek Cesare cared for more than others than himself. That snarky remained starkly true about him even more than a decade later. For the brief time he'd been in the area, he gladly let Nicholas direct the activity multiple times, and he did his best not to let George feel left out. Along with looking out for his own family, he never let his supersede your comforts and wants. He accompanied your sister too, after he put in all the effort to help her come see everyone. You were sure he had fun being a part of the misadventures, but most times he's been a passenger in your exploits, despite having the person who drove everyone else. That answered Derek's question for you. I think you shouldn't ask me what I think. This is your day to enjoy the Boardwalk after spending your whole life making sure everyone else had fun here. Derek's grin collapsed open. A crease formed in his brows. He was stunned and very touched. While the appreciation was unmistakable, he hesitated to accept such an offer.
Don't worry about that.
You don't have to do that. It's your vacation, and you missed out on stuff too. You weren't surprised by that response, but it didn't play like a rejection. It only needed some extra encouragement, like a kid who thought it was bad to open a present before his birthday even if he got permission from the giver. It's your vacation too. Your working vacation, but still. You're my boyfriend, and it's only fair that I get to be the one who puts you first sometimes. Eye contact temporarily failed him. Derek watched his own foot scruffed at the spot where one slab of wood met another. A downturned face didn't hide the wide smile across it. Thanks, Luna. Don't thank me yet. Have some fun first. I do have to agree with that. Gradually, his normal confidence returned. It wasn't a mistake. He wasn't doing something wrong. He simply enjoyed himself, and he would.
Come on.
Alright then. If you're positive, sure. When I get our face paintings, we gotta start the day right. You definitely can. I'll watch. Woo. Derek pressed his free hand ahead of you. It wasn't entirely in the right direction of the face painting stall because you weren't facing that way, but you got the idea.
Nice.
I'm gonna get whatever I want. It could be anything. The sky's the limit. The cheer in his voice and the shimmer in his eyes was better than any thrill of the Boardwalk could offer. You almost had to feel guilty yourself. He'd done you another favor by allowing you to be the one who did him a favor. That tended to be the way it went. You weren't complaining about that particular dynamic. With no time to lose and a plan in mind, you and Derek went to the old face painting stand with a new artist. Welcome. I got a free spot if you see something you like. The painter was far less glamorous than Xavier, but no less friendly or worse at their job. If the new example photos were to be believed, they had their own flair in the strokes and choice of color. You stood alongside Derek right into the seat. He appreciatively obliged, strutted ahead, and hopped onto the raised chair. Derek had no embarrassment over being an adult at the face painting stall. It was nice to see you. Oh, excellent. What can I get you? Derek took a polite glance at the offered styles on display, though it didn't need any time to decide. How about a shooting star? Good choice. The artist wasn't simply being polite. Well, they might have been, but shouldn't if they were. Derek beamed like a star himself. Nothing could fit better. Taking it from point to point before attaching a long tail, soon Derek's cheek was emblazoned with a bright star streaking across his face. But they hadn't finished yet. The style had upped its production value since you were there last time. The artist added a finishing touch of glitter to the centerpiece and painted sparkles over the basic trail.
Whoa!
Oh, that is adorable. Honestly, I expected like a small cheek on one side and then like the trail to go across the nose and onto the other cheek. It was a pleasant surprise for Derek as well. He had been sure of what he was getting and ended up with more. Hopefully that would have been a pattern of things to come. Thank you. Derek shook the hand of the artisan vigorously before bounding out of the chair to show you. Check it out, not bad.
Man!
Honestly, I always thought the shooting star was the coolest. It was the most going on out of any of the options, but it's not exactly Nico style. Deserve a gold star. Oh, he's adorable. He let out a snort while only barely stopping on himself and stopping from his painted cheek. I hadn't thought about it like that, but I say you're right. You, not Derek, paid the artist for their work. It was for his turn to have someone treat him. Then it was back to the thick of the park. Derek was on his way, and you were relieved to have him directing the course without a reminder to do so. Since we're here, we gotta ride the roller coaster. Then what are you waiting for? Come on! Alright. Mutual threw a propelling through the crowd, flying past the souvenir shops and the food stands as fast as you could imagine yourself already on the coaster. The line was wrapped up around the whole base of the coaster, but neither of you intends to give up. You can be patient for your award, though patient did not mean calm. Derek restlessly bounded from heel to toe and repeatedly clasped and unclasped his hands, sometimes shaking his fingers out. His behavior was more apparent for someone who was just about to jump into a big game they'd been training all their life for. But Derek had already gone through that kind of excitement for real, so it was fitting for him. The thick row of people filled at a gradual pace. Derek shot out an eager chatter when he got to move. He held on to his high spirits the whole while, and eventually he reached the boarding platform. And finally, the suspense of waiting to be on the ride was replaced with the anticipation of the job. You got to be in the middle spot of the coaster, though with the bias to the front. It was good with Derek, and that was good with you. Together you pod in the front, and close the safety bars for your laps. A check of all the cars were performed as usual, and when the clear was given, the wheels cranked ahead. It pulled higher and higher to the peak of the man-made wooden mountain, until, without warning, the coaster careened over the other side. Derek hollered loud enough to hear over the shouts of everyone else, plus the clattering car, and your cheese clattering in your head. You zoomed through twists and turns, being jostled around like you were tossed into a tumbler dryer. And then it was over. You jerked forward when the coaster speed decreased significantly at the last leg. Once the car cranked to a crawl and rolled into the station, you headed across the exit on the other side, making sure not to leave anything behind. All the fellow riders went down the path, and Derek was out of breath and buzzing with energy, and you were in a similar state. After ruffling his already completely tousled hair, Derek sighed happily.
You!
That was great. Yeah. He began to drift over to the boards again, heading nowhere but encouraged forward by the tide of park goers and coming through. You couldn't remember when it happened, but Derek's hand found yours. You strung your arms back and forth between them. He grinned over at you as sweet as a mouthful of cotton candy. What do you want to do next? Wait, no, what I want to do next, right? Good job, it's still up to you still. Derek and he joined in laughter filling the park. Force Rabbit. Don't worry, I can keep reminding you. It's Derek Day. Derek Day, huh? I like the sound of that. He cast his focus up to the sky. With a free hand, Derek traced the edges of his jaw using his thumb and pointer finger. It reminded you of the way Mr. Cesare would stroke his beard thoughtfully and respectfully. Derek was missing the facial hair, but the effect was the same. What does Derek Cesare want to do? He hit the roller coaster and face painted Saul. I'm not huge on refreshment scene, honestly. They got bikes and scooters, but you can do that almost anywhere. On top of that, time's running out before we can leave, so... Up next is the Ferris wheel. We gotta do that before we go. Yeah, time to literally end it off on a hike.
Awesome!
Alright, let's go. Honestly, we're hitting the two of the three things I would want to do. So Derek glanced around to get a lay of the land. We wandered far from the coast and entirely lost touch where you stood in the park. But your new target was the tallest structure for miles around. There was no trouble in determining a path toward it. Together, you made another crossing of the Boardwalk. The line of the Ferris wheel wasn't as jam-packed as it was the first ride we stopped at. Far more guests could fit at a time, so it was simply less of a draw to the high-energy guests attending the park. You couldn't get on immediately, but the wait wouldn't take long. Derek's attitude standing in there was a stark contrast to how he behaved on the creeping crawl of the roller coaster. His feet were firm on the ground. Right and Teddy cut the door for both of you. That didn't mean you couldn't add your own touch of cordialness. Please, you first.
Thanks.
How kind. He promptly climbed in, and he carefully got up to the few steps into the car after. Derek sat on the right bench, the same side he picked the last time you were up there. Sat on the same bench next to Derek. Derek squished his shoulder up around the sides of his face like a childlike excitement and welcomed you to see with a grin. He put an okay sign to the attendants. Then the employee closed the tiny elevated room. You were fully encased inside. It muffled the Rochester's so much that you couldn't believe the entire world had just suddenly faded away. Glancing out the window, sure that all was well. The car rocked forward and you watched the ground move further away. A warm hand enveloped yours. It was nice. You and Derek were completely unreachable there. For the duration of the ride, it was only you and him. It was freeing in a way. Derek seemed to think so too, because you got to talk to him without reservation. I know we didn't get to do all that much here. We're finishing up and the sun had to begin to set. But still, this had been the best trip to Boardwalk I had in years. He poked out the small chunk of glitter in his cheek that clumped together to stick out from the rest.
You're seriously great.
I hope you know, and I really appreciate it. You're always looking out for me. Yeah, you deserve to have someone spoil you. The Ferris wheel continued to go round on its set, unchanging path, always forward, never back. Even in the brightness of a summer day, a shadow fell over Derek's face. Aww.
Well...
You succeeded in making me happy. Is it alright to ask if you had fun too? Of course, any time with Derek is a good time. That's good to know. His gaze dropped, his voice low and heavy with the weight of emotion.
Thank you.
Thanks to you, I finally got to feel like what I did when I was a kid for a little while. That means a lot. It's what I've been chasing since I got here. The big park, all dark and empty. Derek's pained confession. The scene all flashed through your mind. His words hung out. How he felt he lost so much and could never go back. Maybe it wasn't exactly entirely true after all. The soft smile on his face was exactly the same as the boy he once knew. Hey, remember the time you stayed over at my place and we camped out in the living room? We talked about our futures and our dreams. The Father Day thing might have been more of a bombshell, but I haven't forgotten the rest of that adventure. Yeah, same. We had such grand plans a decade ago.
Oh, man.
Now we're here and I have no idea what I'm doing. Derek pressed himself into the heavy metal wall behind the seats and slumped down into it. I bet my 13-year-old self would have demanded a refund if we called a psychic and told them what direction his life was going to go in, and that still would lead to getting together with you. That's obviously made up. Come on, Derek. Everyone knows you're too polite to ask for your money back. You're right, but I would have thought about it. I would have made a great speech in my head about how it's only fair not to have to pay for a reading like that. Derek's voice faded out, replaced by a sound of his fingers tapping against the seats, one after another, played like a rapping beat, like a fluttering of a heart.
This sucks.
It's like that there's no way to actually know what's going to happen in the future, huh? Things will be alright, hopefully. You weren't sure how, but that was better than saying you were doomed. Derek peered at you, his features were tense. He kept a light-hearted atmosphere between you two, buoying in when it began to droop, but in that moment he let it die.
You doing okay?
Hey, how are you doing, Luna? Not just today or about the boardwalk. I hate to kill the mood even more than I already did, but you're leaving soon, and I want to talk about what's going to happen when you leave. Are you going to be, right on your own out there? His restless hand stopped at its dance. He couldn't move. All Derek could manage was keeping a tight grip on the edge of the cold bench. Sorry, I didn't mean to yawn so much, but this music always makes me tired. I don't forget what you said a couple days ago when I was venting about all my own problems, even if we were all kind of worried out between us. That doesn't change the fact that you're going away. I'm so nosy, and it makes me worry. You intentionally cared so much. I'll be fine. Each words were gentle. It didn't matter where you were or where you're going to later. He never stopped thinking about you. Your back went rigid about to get from the shock of the sun clash. Derek had slammed his sneakers into the metal plating of the floor. He used his hold on the bench to throw himself forward, and then twisted on the balls of his feet to switch angles, then dropped down to his knees. In one blink, he went from politely sitting at your side to crouching right before you. The way he landed had made the second intense clatter. After that, it was far too silent. Luna, I know I hadn't been around for you as much as I could have been, as much as I should have been, but I don't want it to be like that anymore.
I swear.
Wait. He used his hold on the bench to throw himself forward, then twisted on the balls of feet to switch angles, then dropped down to his knees.
I swear.
I swear to God, if he's gonna propose right now, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna be too busy. There aren't more important things I gotta do first. You're important. And if it's not too late, I'd like to be someone you can count on. You don't have to do honeymoon. I know I can rely on you, Derek. Please don't tell. Please tell me. Are you going to be proposing right now? That's nice to hear, and it makes the rest of this easier. He certainly was rock solid. You should have known Derek wouldn't have said that anywhere. He's already got a plan.
Leave it to me.
First of all, I'll say that you can come back here anytime and stay with me whenever you want. Don't think you would ever be getting in the way. We've always supported each other whenever we could. You can always work together to get through life. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not really everything, though. It could be or not. For that to make sense, I'm gonna have to talk to me about it again. It's okay, you can tell me. A flash of relief crossed his face before entirely disappearing into determination. It wasn't time to rest. He was allowed to proceed, and now he actually had to. Alright.
The truth is...
Since you've been here, I finally started to see a future I want to have. I thought about it more and more, and it keeps coming back to the same thing. I don't want to be this far away from you. That was it. All along. The entire time you've been staying with him, and even before you'd actually arrived. Those were the words Derek had been holding back. He didn't restrain them any longer. I was hoping to be closer to you when I lived in the next city over. Being neighbors was my dream. I totally wasn't kidding about that. But I wasted all these years. We had a manageable travel distance from each other. I pushed off facing you for real until I reached a perpetual moving goalpost. I regret that. I still do. I don't know if I'll ever stop pissing me off. Derek caught his long-hold anger begin to carry him. He squeezed his eyes shut and forcibly shaky, though steadying exhale out. That's not what matters, though. I can't redo the past. I gotta focus on what I can do. And what is that? I can move. I can live next to you now. The clawing darkness of past faded under the shining hope of better tomorrow. Why not, right? It's not as if we'd be canceling any amazing plans. I gave up everything before you got here. So this could be the best time for us. I don't have to renew my lease, and the career ideas I do have could come with me. I could start them somewhere else. Or, I know you're next to Cove, but if you're wanting to come back to this area for more of a vacation, I could keep the apartment and you can move in. Maybe I'll want to move closer too, but I'll be up for wherever you are. That's what I meant when I talked about Fizzits not being everything. Instead, we could be there for each other day by day. For the first time, Derek had the expression of the whole honest truth for what he wanted for his life, for himself. It wasn't about his family only for your sake. But even then, Derek couldn't help pre-compromising his preferences. He doubted the appeal of his hopes to anyone other than himself.
Don't worry about that.
Also, one of my roomies I'm with is like wanting to watch Stranger Things because the first few episodes just released. So, granted, this episode's coming out in like 2 months, so it's already been a while. But context. But I'll get it. I get if you think you'd be overkill if you're so worried about how it works out. It wouldn't have to be forever. He winked cheekily familiar. I'm not asking you to marry me again. Maybe it'll only be a year and then we'll have new plans. I'm gonna need time to figure out the long-term.
So
that's it. Derek's new plan. What do you think? One critique, you don't need to find a place. You can live with me. It was obvious. As soon as he said it, you'll question why it took this long to realize you could simply be near each other if you wanted. And the next instant you remembered why. Neither of you pictured the other feeling the same way. You imagined Derek was pursuing his sports dreams and never would have interrupted that. He saw himself as unworthy of others' acceptance until an abstract level of success was attained. But those days were behind the both of you. The answer you gave was a dazzling smile. It gave Derek was proof.
Really?
You nodded with a complete resolve. It wasn't any need for doubts. Absolutely, Derek's his heir. Whew. His arm shot up as he whooped a victory cheer. Derek's previous act of comfort as he came to as a stroke of luck for him. It wasn't likely he calculated the size of the cabin before doing that. If he hadn't knelt on the floor, that celebration would have ended with his hands cracking against the metal ceiling. He started to ramble off, moving logistics and preparations that needed to be made. Informing the landlord that he wouldn't be renewing his lease was paramount, but he was positive she wouldn't mind. Most of what he had was still packaged from his prime move, so that would make the process easier, and once again he expressed gratefulness that he hadn't furnished the apartment himself. It was dry, grown-up responsibility stuff, yet it sparked more excitement in you than any amusement park could have. Derek was able to rein in the frontal babbling long enough to extend a hand toward you intently. You understood what he meant by that. The place, the time of day, the term, so much of the situation was entirely different from the first time Derek had made you an offer, but the feelings behind it remained the same. An earnest desire not to be separated. Aww. Oh, that looks like there is a small hiccup of the editing, because it looks like the scar goes across his hand as well. He took one hold of another and shook.
It's a deal.
Deal. Wow. I'm guessing if we went to actually say, yes, let's get married, this is actually where he would have proposed, maybe. He slowly let you go before staring down at his hand in wide-eyed disbelief, and as if it wasn't his. But it was. Derek had taken his own life into the hand of his. He believed he wouldn't lose hold of it again. Actually did it. His fingers curled into a fist and lifted his intense green eyes to your face. Derek had grown and he held himself back. He changed and he remained himself. He developed into the adult he should be proud of, and he was still the young boy you met 10 years ago. It was true at once, and it made you happier than you could say. I'm feeling better about the future already. Thanks, Luna. Derek had gained a genuine confidence. He trusted his decisions now that they were made to seek the best instead of to hide from the worst. Nothing in the world was more heartening than that. I am too, Derek. It was incredible how you could say that. The shapeless unknown of what come next had begun to take form in your mind. and it wasn't as scary when you could see it. With the entire thing settled, Derek pushed himself off the floor and got into his seat. Can you keep this a secret? You're not supposed to get out of your seat while the ride is in motion. I'll never rat you out. Derek satisfyingly stretched his arms in front of him. This time he was calm and realized moving them high wasn't a wise strategy. Well, I might not really know what I'm doing with my own life, but at least I got a first step. Gotta get packing. I can settle more on that later. You shook with the swaying of your own personal cabin laughter too. Derek snickered with himself, but clung to a piece of prior seriousness.
Phew!
It's a relief, though. Feeling good about what's coming next is more than I had a few days ago. And 23 is not that old. I have plenty of time left to work it out. The world's our oyster, Derek.
You know it.
Looks like it. You're usually right about that stuff. For the first time in his waking hours, Derek was completely at peace with himself. He kissed his nose. He pressed a sweet, feather-like kiss on the tip of his nicely defined nose. Derek's breath flickered with your face, and when he snorted, the kiss had tickled him, literally and metaphorically. Still, he kept you close to him, wrapping a heavy arm around your shoulders. Derek was there with you, and you with him, and for that you were grateful.
Well...
Hey, Luna? His voice was a gentle whisper. It was as if you were still laying on the couch, half asleep, lost in nothing more than a dream. Does this count as our second date? Your cheeks burned pleasantly. He smoothed your cheeks, snickering slipping through his lips. I'd say we'd be doing pretty good at this relationship thing. Me too, Derek.
Congrats.
Another good idea to add to the list. Your spirits had flown straight to the moon like a pair of shooting stars, though physically you were still in the gently drifting cabin and its position was on the decline. The ride came to an end, and you were ready for that, so whenever else you inevitably face. You had a teammate at your side to tackle life's challenges with. When your cabin arrived at the bottom, you took your turn to dismount. The same attendant gestured toward the tall flipped exit and thanked you for coming. Doing as you instructed, he left the Ferris wheel behind you. Derek took wide, peppy steps to clear the way for the next passengers to get through.
Whoa!
Then he abruptly came to a halt. What time is it again? I completely forgot that was probably going to have to be our last stop. He glanced around all around as if he would be able to spot a clock floating in the air with enough persistence. Eventually he recalled he owned a cell phone, and discreetly chuckled while he took it out of the sweatpants pocket. Yep, damn, we gotta go. We might be pushing it a little already. We got people to see. Derek shoved his phone back into place with a terse sigh. The second I had fun being responsible goes out the window. I'm sorry. Hey, it's not like we're doing any better. And we're both enjoying ourselves. No one's gonna be mad. Thanks. You're great. I won't waste time worrying about wasting time, right? Exactly. Let's head out. Together, you bounded across the boardwalk one last time. The energy still filling the area was swelling, and the rush made it easier to leave it behind. And part of me wants to keep going, but I also want to go see the episode of Stranger Things with the rest of my roomies. So I'm going to end this episode a little early, and I hope you guys have a good day, night, week, month of your lives, and may the stars forever guide your path wherever it might lead you into the future. And I hope to see you guys again next time. Bye-bye!